everyone, it is Mrs. Silva back at you with another video. How cringe is this? Okay, my students are laughing at me right now. Right now we are going to do a review of Chapter 3. We're going to be doing a chapter all on proving lines parallel. If you are working on this at home, oh gosh, you can see me on the screen too. Just follow along with us. If you have a test tomorrow, good luck on your test, and here is your review. You know, you ain't gonna be laughing when I'm at home just making some YouTube videos. Okay. Number 1, identify the plane parallel to BCD. So you would identify which plane they're talking about. It's this top one here. The one parallel to that would be the triangle on the bottom. So that would be AFE. We just need to go through these answer choices and narrow down which one it is. So ABE, no, that's not the one we need. ABF, nope, that's the rectangle over on the side, not what we're looking for. AFE, okay, that is the triangle we're looking for, and then just make sure the last one isn't the correct answer. And there we are. Number 2, identify a segment parallel to CD. So I'm erasing what I wrote here. Parallel would be going on forever and ever in the same direction. So just looking at this, I'm looking for the segment FE in my answer choices. AB, definitely not parallel. AE, nope. BC, no. And EF. Now I had said segment FE, but it could also be called EF. It's just 2 points on that segment. Read the name it. Then number 3, which segment is skew to DE? I don't know if you remember skew. Parallel lines go on and on forever in the same direction. They are on the same plane. But skew lines are not on the same plane, so they never intersect. So a skew line could be going here, and then you have one above that goes the other direction. They never intersect because they're not on the same plane. So they're not on the same plane, and they're not going the same direction either. So DE, just identifying that segment, going to erase my marks again. DE is right here. Skew to that. AB would be parallel, so no, that's not skew. BC, it looks like BC is going to be my answer. So DE would be going vertical. This would be going the other direction. They would never intersect, but I just want to make sure BD intersects with DE, so not that one. And CD intersects with DE, so not that one. So the answer is B. Did you get those 3? Yes.
Why is 14 crossed out?
Oh, the answer choices are because the correct answer isn't there. And I'll get to that.
I just with like D, there was like a negative sign when it should have just been like positive.
Yeah, when we get to 14, I'll explain.
D was the closest one.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there's an error with the negatives or something in 14, and I can't figure out where the typo is, so I just crossed everything out over there. Okay, but we'll get to that in a minute. So number 4, it's just identifying the angle pairs. The test will be all multiple choice. I just took out some of the multiple choice here to save room on the paper. But looking at 1 and 8, we have alternate exterior angles, so that's what the answer would be. Alternate exterior angles. And I'm not abbreviating here because I want you to be able to study clearly without having to figure out what the abbreviation means. Number 5, 3 and 7, looking at those 2 angles now. 3 is right here, and 7's right here. Those are corresponding angles. Then number 6, it says, given that A is parallel to B, measure of angle 2 is 65 degrees, and then it says find the measure of angle 6. Well, corresponding angles are actually equal in measure, so it's just going to be 65 degrees. It's almost like too good to be true, but it is as easy as it seems. Also, if you have trouble with the angle pairs and stuff, if you just look at this, all of these angles are going to be one of 2 measures. So if this is 65, this has to be supplementary to it, so it would be 115. And then every single angle in this picture is either going to be 65 degrees or 115. So if it's an acute angle, it's going to be the 65 degrees, and if it's obtuse, it's going to be the 115. So that can just help you kind of figure it out, or just check your work and make sure it's accurate. Number 7 Number 7 says given the measure of angle 3 is 5x plus 10 and measure of angle 5 is 3x plus 10 plus 10, find the value of x. So we need to look at the angle relationship here between 3 and 5. So here's angle 3, here's angle 5. They're consecutive interior or same side interior. It's blurry. Hold on. They are not equal, and you can see that. One is an acute angle, one's obtuse. They're not equal, but they are supplementary. So we're going to add this plus this and put it equal to 180. So 5x plus 10 plus 3x plus 10 equals 180, and we can solve from here. And I get x equals 20. Somebody today, I think it was on Khan Academy, they got a negative number for an x and they were second guessing themselves. They're like, but can I have a negative number for an x? Yeah, you can have a negative number for the x. What you couldn't have is a negative number for the angle measure. You couldn't have a negative number for that. But for x, you definitely could have a negative. Okay, and the next set of problems refers to this chart here. It says which angle relationship justifies that L is parallel to M. So we're trying to prove that L is parallel to M. We're looking for angle relationships like alternate exterior, alternate interior, corresponding, something that'll prove those lines parallel. So here we have it says 1 and 7. Now 1 and 7 are equal like it states, but these vertical angles have nothing to do with the other line M. So there's no way that that relationship could prove that these two lines are parallel. So that is not a correct answer. Then 3 and 4, they're a linear pair. First of all, they aren't equal. And then second of all, it has nothing to do with the other line, so it can't be used to prove that L is parallel to M. And then 4 and 5, those are a linear pair again, not equal, and it has nothing to do with the other line. Can't prove that they're parallel. And then 6 and 8 are corresponding angles. They are definitely on each of the lines. If corresponding angles are equal, then those lines are parallel. So the answer is D because they're corresponding angles. Number 9. Number 9 came up in the homework, and remember it wasn't attached to the picture for whatever reason. Here's the picture it was supposed to be attached to. And angle 2 right here and angle 6, they're alternate interior angles. Again, it's blurry. Focus. Alternate interior angles are equal, so we can just set these equal to each other. And we get x equals 7, which is C. And then number 10, it says measure of angle 6 plus 7 equals 180. Which postulate or theorem justifies L is parallel to M? Okay, so 6 plus 7, these are consecutive interior angles, and yes, they equal 180. Again, this one came up on the homework, and some of you were like, where's the picture? Here's the picture. But honestly, even without the picture, there's only one pair that adds to 180 that can justify that the lines are parallel, and that is the consecutive interior angles theorem. So the answer is A. Something else I want you to keep in mind, some resources and tests refer to those angles, so the two angles that are right next to each other on the interior as consecutive interior. Some tests refer to it as same side interior, which honestly is a little bit easier to identify. Same side interior makes sense. But if you see that on a test, it is exactly as easy as it seems. It's just referring to the same side interior angles. Okay, then moving on to number 11. Up at the top, there's two answer choices to the last question, which were incorrect anyway. For 11, it says determine the slope of a line that contains the given points. So the equation for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And from here, you can use the equation to find slope. So for these points, this would be x1, y1, x2, y2, and we're going to use the equation. So it would be 0 minus 5, subtracting the y's, and then subtracting the x's. Negative 5 over 5 equals negative 1. So our slope is negative 1. And if you really had an issue with the equation, or you couldn't remember the equation, whether it's like tomorrow or on the SATs at some point, you could always just graph this and determine the slope that way if you needed to. Then 12, same idea, we're subtracting our y, so it'll be 2 minus negative 4 over 1 minus negative 2. And I get a slope of 2. And again, the test will be multiple choice, so. Okay, 13 and 14, I don't think we practiced this quite like this. Were there any on the homework that were like 13 and 14 that you noticed on the Schoology homework? I don't think we practiced 13 and 14, but we can practice it right now. We honestly, it's best if we're just prepared for anything, whether it's on our test tomorrow or on standardized testing. Sometimes there's things that are presented in a way that we haven't seen before, and we just have to roll with it. So here it says that given A, B, and C, which coordinate will make AB, line AB, parallel to CD? I'm actually going to have you flip your paper over, and we're going to graph this. So I need you to draw a coordinate plane as best you can, as straight as you can, given the circumstances. You can use your ID if you need to. I'm freehanding it, and it's all right. You could, Kristen. Yes, you're right. You could use slope formula. I'm going to graph it, and then I'll also talk about that way as well. Okay, so here's my coordinate plane. I'm just going to make some little tallies, try to make them as consistent as possible. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, here's my coordinate plane. I'm going to plot point A at 1, 7. By the way, I would hand out graph paper, but I totally ran out of graph paper today, so that's fun. And then B is at 8, 4, so I'm going to go over to 8. As close as I can. Okay, try to be as accurate as you can. Obviously, it's not realistic to be perfect because we are freehanding this. But there's line AB. Then they give us point C is at 310, so I'm going to plot point C. Right here. Okay, then from here, I'm going to go through the answer choices. I need a blank one. So we're working on 13. I just plotted A, I plotted B, C, and now I need to figure out what D is that would make this line parallel. I'm going to go through each one of these answer choices and just kind of look at where it would land on the graph and see if it would make a parallel line. So the first answer choice is at 0, 17. 0, 17 would be way up here. And it would definitely not make a line that's parallel to that one, so I can cross out the first answer choice. Then 7, 10, I'm going to plot that point. 4, 5, 6, 7, go up to 10. Okay, that would make a horizontal line, that's great, but not parallel to that original. So B, we can cross that one out too. Then the next one, 10, 7, I'm going to plot that point. And then go up to 7. By the way, oh wait, I shouldn't say, never mind, I'll make a comment when I'm not recording. Maybe I'll just say it. Based on our printing budgets at the school, this is how we're supposed to teach math all the time. It doesn't really work that well. Okay, so as you can see, that third coordinate right there makes the very close to a parallel line. Like obviously there's some human error there. It's not exactly parallel, but if this was a perfect world and all my tallies and all my dots were perfect, that would be parallel. So C is the correct answer. D, if I was to go ahead and graph D, it would make my line go up this way, which again is not parallel to that line AB. Now Kirsten brought up a great point, is that you could also use slope formula to figure this out, which is true. I think this would probably be a little bit more accurate because with slope formula, there's a lot of errors that you can make with negatives and stuff. So if we were to find the slope of B, like AB, what does the slope come out to? It would be 4. Okay, so if you did the 4 minus 7 and 8 minus 1, you get -3/7, and then you're looking for something that would give you that same slope. So you could calculate slope with all of these, like 17 minus 10, 7/3, nope, not the same. Again, you could subtract. Maybe this is easy for you, but there also is some error that can happen. You'd get 10 minus 10 is 0/4, no. And then 7 minus 10 would be -3, 10 minus 3 would be 7, so you get that same slope there. So I guess you can determine what's better, whether you want to use slope formula to figure it out or if you want to graph. Oh, I didn't realize it wasn't in frame. Let me know if it's not in frame. 14 doesn't come out right to the answer choices there. I don't know what the issue is with the problem. But when I say I don't know what the issue is with the problem, I don't know where the error is, either the number error or the negative sign error that would make it true. For the perpendicular lines, you could graph it, you could use slope. Remember with perpendicular lines, like if your slope, so for the first one, if I do -5 minus 4/2 minus -1, I get -9/3, so that'd be -3 is the slope of the first line. For a line perpendicular to that, you would be looking for a negative reciprocal. So the negative reciprocal or opposite reciprocal would be a positive 1/3 slope for the line perpendicular. There is practice with this on Khan Academy, which is great. What you could do here is, well, let's skip it. I would say graph it, but we don't have graph paper and the answer choices don't work out, so just cross it out. But you could graph this 0.34 and then go up 1/3 and graph that perpendicular line. Okay, 15. Which is an equation of the line with slope 4 and y-intercept -3? Okay, we're back to easy stuff. Y equals mx plus b. So y equals a slope of 4 and y-intercept of -3. Here we go. And we get this, C. Okay, number 6, which is an equation of line with slope 2 that passes through 3, 1. So now they're showing us point slope form. You will have a reference sheet of some kind for the test tomorrow. Whether I print that out or just put some equations on the board, I'll figure that out. But here's point slope formula, and then we can use this to plug in what they gave us. So it would be y minus the y coordinate here, which is 1. Slope is 2, and then x minus 3. And then I'm looking for this answer choice, and it is A. Okay, the next one, yoga lessons cost $5 per lesson. By the way, this is a very common SAT or PSAT type style question. Yoga lessons cost $5 per lesson if Kylie enrolls in the health club for a fee of $120 per year. Suppose Kylie joins the health club. Which equation represents the yearly cost of L yoga lessons? Well, cost would be C equals like $120 for the starting cost plus $5 per lesson. And then I'm just looking down here for something that equals that. Not this, it'd be this. Not subtracting. And this would not be right because when you distribute that 5, it would multiply the 120 by 5, which is not what we have right here. So that's not correct either. 18, I left this one on there because it's just so simple. It says, what is the distance from P to N? It's talking about line N. So here's line N, here's P. All you do is you count the coordinates. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 units. And then last but not least, just practicing angle pairs. This is a little bit more intricate than the simple diagrams we had earlier, but some of these might be on the test too, where it just asks for the relationship of 3 and 10. Remember, whatever two angles, just like block out the other part of the graph, and then you can see that 3 and 10 are consecutive interior angles. So 3 and 10, consecutive interior angles, or also write this down just so you're familiar, same side interior is what it's called sometimes. (22), 9, and 13. Find it on the graph. We got 9 right here and 13 right here. Cross out everything else, and then we can see that those are corresponding. So that's corresponding angles. Any other questions on this? Pretty straightforward. I'll make sure that 14's fixed if it's on the actual test, or just take it off if I can't figure out where the error is. And all the questions on the test will either be these questions or look just like them. So this is like your best bet in terms of studying. I do have a copy of this up on Schoology, so if you want to print it out again and work through them again, that would probably be the best way to study. You also have your note packet, which I'm going to pass back today. It would be good to look through that. And then your past Schoology homeworks, those are also good to look at. A lot of them are disabled, but you can still look at your past attempts even though they're disabled and you can't like submit anything. You can still look at the questions, which may come up on the test as well. So I'm going to end this recording for the rest.